Little did he know that we would stand up and fight back.
No sabía que nos íbamos a parar y pelear de regreso.
And that progressive communities, LGBTQ communities, immigrant rights communities, women's rights folks, Muslims,
Y las comunidades de inmigrantes, LGBTQ, progresistas, musulmanes, inmigrantes, iban a pelear
would stand together as a united front.
y unirse como una frontera unida.
So now it is my pleasure to introduce some of our community partners who will give us an update of ongoing issues.
Aquí hay unos de nuestros socios de comunidad que nos van a dar una noticiera de temas.
So first up, we have the very ongoing crisis of DACA, the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrival,
Primero tenemos noticias sobre DACA,
which we have the very own powerhouse, Graciela Núñez, who has been leading in our state legislature and at the federal level the fight for the DREAM Act.
y acá está nuestra líder Graciela, que ha estado peleando en el legislador estatal y nacional.
Hi everyone, happy Pride.
Feliz Pride.
Good evening. My name is Graciela Núñez Vargas, and I am a DACA recipient, but most importantly, I am an ally of the LGBTQIA+ community. Thank you so much for having me in your presence.
Buenas noches. Mi nombre es Graciela Núñez Vargas. Soy una residente de DACA y, más importante, una socia alegada de la comunidad LGBTQ.
So I came to the United States with my family from Venezuela when I was 7 years old.
Vine con mi familia de Venezuela a la edad de 7.
And I remember being scared and sad when I realized that I wouldn't be back in my home country because my parents were afraid of their lives.
Y me acuerdo cuando pensé que yo no iba a regresar a mi país de origen porque mis padres tenían miedo por sus vidas.
Yes, and I can't imagine what the kids at the border are feeling right now that have been ripped away from their families at no mercy of the CBP. That's Customs Border Patrol agents. Those are the people that monitor, surveil our border and are committing atrocious acts against the human rights and the human dignity of these families that make America wonderful.
Y no me puedo ni imaginar lo que está ocurriendo con los niños en la frontera que a raíz del CBP han sido arrancados de los hombros, de las manos de sus madres. Este CBP es los que controlan nuestras fronteras y están cometiendo estas atrocidades contra nuestras comunidades que hacen este país grande.
And I'm here to talk about DACA, and I'm here to say that it is unfair that we have not yet passed a federal clean DREAM Act that does not continue putting our families, ourselves, and our communities at risk of deportation. I am ashamed of Congress, and I know that come November, my community, the LGBTQIA+ community, is going to show up at the ballots and tell them how it is, that we need to keep our families together. Look, never forget what you stand for, even if you have an expiration date like I do. Never forget where you came from, and never forget the communities that stood alongside you at the forefront of the fights and that taught you love.
Y estoy avergonzada de lo que está ocurriendo nacionalmente, que el legislador no ha hecho los arreglos y la reforma a DACA. Estoy avergonzada de eso. Y no se olviden de quiénes son, de dónde vienen, y mientras tenemos nuestro estrés de fechas caducándose, hay que pelear.
So thank you so much for having me in front of you and supporting my community, my undocumented community. There are great organizations that are at the forefront of these battles, and these are One America. Look them up. One America, the Northwest Immigrant Rights Project. They are currently suing the Trump administration for the illegal separation of families at the border. And we have 200 mothers and fathers without their children in SeaTac at the Federal Detention Center. Don't forget about the Washington State Immigrant Solidarity Network. Do not forget about Entre Hermanos, about the Gender Justice League. These are all communities that are fighting for these families. And also, I want to leave with one last thing. Just like I said, do not forget, never forget about the communities that raised you. But also don't forget that love is love, that love wins, that we do not accept a Muslim ban, that Black Lives Matter, that we need to stop deportations, that we need to keep families together, and most importantly, yes, I am undocumented, I am unafraid, I'm unapologetic, but one thing's for sure, I am here to stay. Thank you.